What's going on, everyone? So, Zach and I are both getting deeper into our natural bodybuilding competition preps. In today's episode, we talk all about how our preps have been going thus far, including what we've been learning along the way and how our current preps are different than previous ones. Before we dive into it, if you find yourself enjoying the episode, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. Okay, let's dive in. All right, Zach. So we're in, what is this? This is your fifth week of prepping, right? Is that right?
Yep. Uh, yeah, I think start of the fifth. Yeah.
We're into week 5. How's it
hmm
going so far?
Good. Good. Feeling good. We made one adjustment so far. And I uh feeling good about it. Starting to feel the hunger now. So when we started with the calories, it didn't feel too bad. When we made the adjustment, I was like, okay, I can feel it a little bit. So I'm getting to that point. I think, the compounding factor as the week, goes on and I get less sleep, how my sleep schedule is. And before I get to the refeed day, I can kind of feel it. But overall, I'm feeling great. Starting to see the change, the difference. I'm down 9 pounds, I guess we can call it, maybe eight pounds. Um, you know, since we started, so a decent pace that I think is sustainable. Um, so yeah, people are starting to notice the difference and look. I think I'm noticing the difference in how I look. Trying not to compare myself with before or last year or at the end of the time, just kind of, letting the process do its thing. But I think the biggest thing, what I'm liking is the last couple of weeks really been working on my training technique. That's been a real big focus on mine. I know me and you have talked about it. Trying to emulate all of your posts on your technique. So, which is kind of fun because it's a mental challenge that trying to do something different and not just muscle the weight. So it's just like adding a different layer level of training, and it helps to not get monotonous and stuff. Um, and yeah, crushing the social eating, which was a huge problem last year. I would say that's probably the biggest improvement. I mean, I think my training is technique has been a big improvement, but my handling the social aspects of the dieting and being more locked in with tracking, eating whole foods, I would say is almost like 100% better than last year. Like how much I've improved with that. Um, so yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm in a good spot. We'll see as we keep tightening up, and yeah, so it's all good. Um,
It becomes more motivating too when, like, it's not only you noticing that your physique starts to get tighter, but when other people are starting to comment and
mhm,
notice, "Hey, like, are you prepping or something? Are you dieting or something?" It gets a
yeah,
little bit more exciting when you start to get, like, the odd comment here and there, right?
yes, yeah. The other day at work, someone was like, "You're looking really good," and I was like, "Oh, like that's awesome." It's kind of out of the blue. Someone who usually doesn't comment on my fitness. People will always comment on it, but someone who doesn't normally, I think, because they can also tell I'm being very intentional. Like they see me with my meal prep at lunch every day. I'm basically eating at the same time, the same type of foods. There's all the snacks starting to come in for the holiday season at work that I'm not partaking in. We've had a couple like work lunch outings and I bring my food with me. So I think it's not just yes, they see me looking better, but they also it's like clicking why I'm looking better. They can see the decisions I'm making. I can go into the gym every day at lunch after I've lifted in the morning just to go walk on the treadmill and people are like, "Oh, just walking today?" And I'm like, "Yep, getting my cardio in." So they can see me making these intentional decisions. Um, which is explains the progress I'm having. I also have a countdown on my door on my whiteboard outside of my door. Every day at the end, I change it like 70 something days till the show. So, I
It keeps
think
you fired
people,
up.
yeah, and of course, people come and write jokes on it. They're like, "You're still small," or like, "You'll always be small," or something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah. Um,
That's
but what?
interesting though, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking because so you're physically changing and people are noticing it. They're noticing that you're getting leaner and tighter over time, but they're also seeing all of your behavior changes and how you're
Mhm.
changing the way that you're eating and what you're doing for your activity, your training. That's actually kind of interesting nowadays. I think anyways when you think
Yeah.
about it, because a lot of times like you take those same people and they're getting all of their exposure to people that have these dramatic physical transformations to like
Mhm.
social media people. So they don't get to see all of these behavior changes happening in real time. But
Yeah.
this is I think this is I'm just thinking about it now. It's kind of cool that they get to see your transformation happening in real time, not just from like the training footage that is shown on social media, but like they get to see
Mhm.
you every day with the implementation of these different behavior changes with how you're eating and your activity levels and just the different structures.
Oh,
So it's kind
yeah.
of cool. It's kind of cool when you think about it. They actually get to see everything that goes into like a prep in real time.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to compare it back to when I lost all the weight. It's so crazy when I think back how long ago that was now, 2023. It's crazy. But, when I lost all that weight the first time, and it's ironic when I look back at, like, we were talking about the in-body scan beforehand. When I look back at that time, my body fat percentage to my weight was, like, I was lighter, but my body fat was higher, and just when you look at those pictures, it's, like, so apparent. But, it's interesting because I made a huge lifestyle changes for that transformation as well. So people obviously noticed when I was there at work and they saw me every day. But I think it's almost different now when I am already super lean to start. I'm already in really good shape. I'm already kind of like the example of fitness. And now they see me taking it another level. They're like, "What are you talking about? Like, you already look better than everyone else already. You're already faster than everyone else. You just ran the marathon. Like, what el like, you're doing something else now?" And I'm like, "Yep." And so I think that's an interesting concept for them to see that as well. It's someone that's already dialed in, amping it up even more. Um,
Yeah. It's a bizarre concept for I think a lot of people when you're
mhm.
already in a lean, very obviously physically healthy state and someone's asking you about, like, your prep or whatnot, and you say, like, "Yeah, I'm dieting for fat loss right now to get ready for the stage," and they're like, "You're
Yeah.
dieting? Like,
Yes.
you're already, like, lean and you're trying to lose you're on a fat loss diet right now?" Like, that
Yeah.
blows people away. That actually reminds me of my weekend at the social gathering that I was at. That
Yeah.
was one of the experiences that I had this weekend. Like, "You're on a fat loss diet right now? Are you kidding?"
Yeah, you have nothing
It's
to
like
lose.
yeah, it's like, where's the fat coming from? It's like, well,
Yeah.
there's always more fat to lose, basically, in the context of natural bodybuilding anyways. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
different ball game.
But, now how are you feeling? Because obviously you had your pre-prep diet, and then you had your maintain. What week are you on now?
For dieting?
Yeah, for your I guess this is technically your actual prep diet now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think this would be the 3rd one. You know,
Okay.
it's funny, it's interesting because this prep more than any other prep, I haven't been keeping track of time the same way. So
Mhm.
I'll check every now and again, but, like, I'm intentionally trying not to count down how many weeks of dieting I've
Yeah.
done
You
and how
don't
many
have the
weeks I've lost.
countdown like I do?
See, I don't do that. It makes it actually I find that it makes it more difficult me to stay in the present because I almost, like, get it works me up to the point of
Mm,
it being detrimental for me. I get anxious. That's
yeah.
kind of that's kinda one of my mental struggles is I start feeling anxious about the future too much, and
Mhm.
that kinda takes away from me being able to stay in the moment a little bit. So, I've been trying to actually not think too much about how long
Yeah,
I've been doing it or how much time I have left. Still got quite a ways to go, but,
yeah.
I'm feeling all things considered, like the grand scope of the duration of the prep, I'm getting deep into it now.
Mhm.
I've been doing it for a while. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling
Yeah.
okay, and I'm steadily losing, and it's not. I feel like the edge of hunger, but I haven't. It's been very manageable.
Mhm.
There's always
Yeah,
that part of me that wishes I could eat more, of course. Like, it's like a
yeah.
finished meal, it's like, well, I could eat, at least at least I could probably eat a whole another one of those. Like, who am I
Yeah.
kidding?
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
Yeah. No,
It's
that's
not
good. Yeah. So we still are doing the Hello Fresh for dinners. Um, but what we've decided is like anything under 800 calories, and they've really been averaging out around 600 calories, which is actually nice because it's kind of like, and I don't advise this for anyone because it's kind of like a crapshoot if you're a super planner. I think this kind of works for my personality that I can have that a little bit. So I know that it's going to be under 800 calories, but I don't know exactly what it is until I get home. And so like I always bank that I'm going to have 800 calories. And then like today, the meal was 570 calories. And I immediately was like, what am I doing with my extra little bit? You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I come home and it's like the meal's 800
800 on
calories.
the dot.
And I'm like, no.
You better
like,
make every single one of those
yeah,
bites
lick
count.
the blade. But today it was like some shrimp and rice bowl thing. I don't know. And I was so hungry. I swear I finished it before my wife finished 2 bites. She was telling me about her day, and, like, she got into a story, and I was just like, and then I was like, "Yep, I'm done." I was so hungry. But, uh
Yeah.
but yeah, it is kind of interesting. I kinda like that I try to make it a game within it, you know what I mean? But I could understand how that could be difficult for some and stress people out, like, they wanna know exactly planned, like, what it and that's how it is for me, all my other meals, all my other calories, like, I know exactly what I'm gonna eat, like and I have it to a T, like, I get back from the gym in the morning, shower, I usually will get a meeting done in the morning or something, the first thing I do is have a protein shake, and, like, today I had an earlier meeting than normal, and literally everyone's sitting there in the meeting. I was like, "1 second, I'll be right back." And I ran to my office to grab my protein shake that I had forgotten in there to come back into the conference room. I was like, "I have to have my protein shake." Um, so
Priorities.
yeah, 100%. They know it too. There's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, now you've done 4 other preps, right?
Yep.
Um, we've kind of talked about this when I was prepping for the marathon, kind of noticing the difference in what year 1 to year 2, and I think I've noticed some differences already in the bodybuilding prep from year 1 to 2. But for you, you're doing so many, you notice like what are you like dialing in better than before? Like how do you make improvements? Because for me, it's very easy because I'm making like the improvements are obvious of what I'm making. But for you, like since you've done so many, what are the improvements, if any? Are you just like, okay, well, is it really the training? And was it really the off season where you improved? Or what are you doing during the prep to help improve, I guess?
I think that it's primarily been more mindset related than anything else, more than behavior.
Mm,
I think I've been really lucky that I prefer structure and I'm okay with well, I'm not like super thrilled every time I have to drop calories, but I'll do it. And I don't cheat I don't cheat, I don't binge.
mhm,
It's just kind of the way that I'm wired, I think, and I'm really lucky. Not everyone's like that.
yeah.
I love training, so, like, that's a solid behavior. It's always been I've never had trouble getting myself to the gym. Sometimes it's tough, like, sometimes I feel like I'm dragging my feet and my legs feel really
Mhm,
heavy and it's tough, but I'll always go. I'll never skip a session or anything like that. So, as far as those kind of behaviors and tracking calories, like, and having a meal plan, that's something I learned a long time ago, and it's never been
mhm.
a struggle for me to really kind of have that stuff. In fact, I prefer to have a meal plan and to train
Yeah.
all of those behaviors are like my preference. So that's kind of been solid as far as improvements within that structure. There hasn't been a huge difference like between this prep and my past prep. I'll
Mhm.
say there
Yeah.
hasn't been maybe some small changes. I don't even think there's been any changes really.
Yeah.
One thing that's different is I'm actually dieting on more calories than I have before, and
Okay.
I'm lighter at the body weight that I'm at right now,
Mhm.
but I'm eating more calories compared to when I was at the same body weight of my last prep. So I
Okay.
actually had to diet a little bit more assertively to get leaner the last time around compared to this time. As to why exactly that is, can't tell you all the reasons with all the different variables as
Mhm.
to what the reasons for that could be. I'm not 100% sure. I can speculate, like, my activity is a little bit higher than it was last time. Like, my steps on average, I think, are like 3,000 more per day on average compared to the last.
Mhm.
So that'll definitely be part of
Yep.
it. I had a longer improvement season where I was eating higher calories for longer
Mhm.
overall, and it was very, very systematic, and that might have done something to my base energy expenditure. So it's just like basically I started my prep off with higher calories, and it made it easier to lose calories or lose body fat on
Yep.
higher calories from that point. So like that could be part of it. And I outside of that, there's other variables, but it's probably some combination of all those different variables. But either way, I am dieting on more calories than I did on the last prep, which is probably why I'm
That's
feeling,
awesome.
not horrible. And my training's
Yeah.
going really well too. Like it's, sometimes I get into the session, it's like I feel a little bit hungrier than I otherwise would, and my legs do feel a little bit heavier than they otherwise would. But overall, like on paper, no big noticeable dips in energy or strength. Like it's all
Yeah.
still getting done. And I might not have been quite at the place that I am now compared to the last prep that I did. So there's improvements there. As to maybe I won't say improvements, there's differences there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um the biggest improvements though that I'm trying to like proactively accomplish are more mindset related.
Okay.
So staying in the present, that's huge because in every
Mhm.
other prep that I've done, I've been so focused on like, I just got to get to the end. Like, I just got to, I just so focused on being stage ready. That's all it's taking up so much
Yeah.
mental space that it makes the days go by longer. It distracts me from the other things that I have to do in the day that are also really important.
Mhm.
And overall, it makes the process a little bit more daunting. I found for me to kind of just like hyper fixate on the end the end basically. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to proactively stay in the present more and focus on just like day to day and try not to think about like how much time I have left, which we were just talking about,
Yeah.
or how long I've been dieting. I'm trying not to think about getting to eat extra food later on.
Mhm.
I don't want to start I'm which is tough.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to think about, filling my stomach up more. I'm just living at the calories that I'm at now, and it's not super invasive anyways. I'm pretty content.
Mhm.
What else? What other mindset related things? I'm practicing things like I'm trying to remind myself more without getting like woo woo about things. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
like more genuinely grateful for things that I've got, more appreciative for things that I have. So like the
You
meals that
you did a video on that recently, right?
I
You
did.
talked
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. You even said that. You're like, okay, back to training or
Yep.
something. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get too woo woo here, too
Yep.
out in the clouds. But yeah, you'll notice things like you're probably finding this too. Like when you're in prep, your palate changes. You start to appreciate
Mhm.
the food that you're eating more. So it's I'm trying to strike this balance between like I don't want to hyper fixate on my meals, but I also feel like really appreciative and grateful and enjoy the meals more than I would if I wasn't
Yeah.
dieting.
Mhm.
If I'm in a lean bulking phase, it's kind of like, yeah, it's just another meal, like just get it in my system. Who
Yeah.
cares? But now
Yeah.
it's like I'm sitting down and this is a good time right now. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm still hungry
Yeah.
afterwards, but I'm enjoying this while so I actually get some joy out of that. Try not
Mhm.
to hyper fixate on the whole food thing, but getting a little bit of joy in that, and I'm allowing myself to.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I'm trying to allow myself to be more in the present, to feel a little bit more grateful and appreciative of the things that I've got, and controlling things like anxiety. Like
Mhm.
someone that's like kind of prone. That's my default. I tend to worry and catastrophize and worry about how I'm going to feel when I'm more dieted 3 months from
Yeah.
now.
It's like not even there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like worrying about like how am I going to feel at the next social gathering, And that'll probably always be an ongoing battle for me. It'll probably always be there, but I'm trying to work really hard on that now. So I think
Yeah.
that's my biggest area of targeted improvement are those kind of
Yeah.
mindset kind of things.
I love it too, because I feel like it shows the difference in the growth in any activity that you're doing, right? You're way more experienced in this than me. And so like when you're talking about this, you're almost like at that mastery level where you've already done all the basics, whereas I'm still learning the basics, right? And so therefore it's like my improvements and changes are like such common sense to you, right? Like because you've learned those in the past, right? I think remember we talked about like as I'm meal prepping and I've like understood now that whole foods are the way to go and not protein bars. And it's like you're like, yeah, you're learning, you're figuring it out, right? And so it's interesting because I also like the consistency. Like with the marathon training, I was able to do very similar things and use data points to help know where I'm at. Um, it's hard now because you're talking about like the strength hasn't changed, your calories. Whereas for me, I I think I'm stronger because I was definitely stronger in the off season, but I don't know right now because I'm lifting lighter on everything than I did last year. But that's with intention. That's with the purpose and focus. Hopefully, like I was literally thinking about this. I did squats today, and I remember like after the show last year, and I was trying to go heavy. I was doing like 3 plates, a couple times, and now I was like, I don't think I cannot imagine doing any sets with that much. But then I'm like, well, my technique is better, right? So everything's like with an asterisk. Everything's with like a explanation of why, and controlling the ego to understand that. And same thing with the food. Like when we look at calories, I couldn't honestly. I think we talked about this. I couldn't honestly tell you what I was eating last year until that January, right? Like, who knows what calories I was eating because I was putting my little extra candies in them and stuff like that. Um, so it's just interesting to hear when you're talking about it about just kind of it's that next level, whereas I'm still kind of learning the sport, if that makes sense.
What do you think I know something that you mentioned earlier. I think you and I have this in common in that for both of us, one of our bigger struggles or bigger challenges is like the
Mhm.
social eating element that inevitably will happen when you're in prep, unless
Yeah,
you make a decision to just miss out on every family and social gathering that's
can't do
presented
that.
to you, which is yeah, exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
But something that you mentioned earlier was this this prep for you, that's gone significantly better, and we just got out of the
Mhm.
Thanksgiving long weekend. You've had, like, a couple poker nights, or at least 1 poker night
Mhm.
so far.
Yep.
You've had, I know you met up with friends
Mhm.
at least once as well within the last several weeks. So you've had a bunch of social gatherings, including big Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
uh, holiday meal. You mentioned that this prep, as far as the social gathering's gone, it's been significantly better than the last one. So what are some of the
Yeah.
things what are some of the areas that you've improved at, and what have you done? What do you think
Mhm.
what are some of the mindset changes that you've made, or what are the specific behavior changes that are different between this prep versus the last one?
Yeah, I think that's a tough one too because it's almost like a mind
A
it's
lot of
just like
people
yeah.
a lot of people struggle with this, so I think it's helpful to, like, I don't
Yeah,
know, hash out a little bit.
I think, it's very similar to when I just flipped the switch the first time to lose all the weight. Like, I had a hard time really pinpointing why I made that change. Um, but it's not exactly the same because I competed last year, so I still made a decision. I think it's 2 parts. I think number 1, I'm very competitive and I always like to improve. Like, I'm the kind of person if you play a game or a sport and you continue doing it and you don't get better, I feel like that's a waste of time, talent, energy. So I think I looked at what I did last year. I understood where my downfalls were, what were easy wins when it comes to what I could improve and change. Um, and let's just do those things. So I realized every time I had a poker night last year, I would eat all the pigs in a blanket. I would be stressed the next day. I would try to figure out the calories to make up for it, and then my weight would always spike. Like, so okay, if I didn't like that, what do I need to do about that? You know, well, the easiest thing is just not to do it. Well, that's hard mentally. So then what do I have to do mentally to be okay with that, right? Like, um, And so I think for that, the first thing was just like analyzing how last year went and trying to improve that. Um, I think for one of the other settings is I think I saw the success on how I looked and I was happy with it. How other people viewed me as much as we've talked about this in the past, how vanity and everything else. But it is a positive reinforcement when you step on stage and you bring a good package. And so it's now easy for me socially to justify doing weird, quote unquote, weird things because I know what it can get me, and other people can know it too. When it's the first time last year, it's like, is this worth it? Is it worth it to me to be a weirdo and socially right for something I don't know? What if I go on stage and I look like crap, or I'm not happy with it, or it's stupid? I didn't enjoy it. Like that's weird, right? So but because I've had that experience of it, I understand it works. So like now when I go out to dinner, I've done this 3 times already. Going to restaurants, I bring my food with me. And I ask the restaurant, "Hey, do you mind if I bring my own food in?" They usually don't mind. Still tip the waiter or waitress. And that for me is easy because now I'm able to go and be a part of it. Especially like we've talked about how our whole culture is everything is at a restaurant or surrounded by food. Even like we do trivia nights and everything else as at a restaurant or a bar. So I go. So that has helped me, and I'll just bring my meal with me, so I'm not guessing on the calories. Um, so that's the 2 things. I think the third one is I don't know. I've developed more willpower. I don't know what it is. I've just said I'm gonna
Classic
do it.
stronger will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the challenge of it and just sticking with what I say I'm gonna do. Um, it's almost like when other people I remember when I gave up drinking, people were like, "There's no way you're gonna be able to do it." Right? And I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna prove you wrong." And now I think I'm just proving myself wrong. Like, I wasn't able to do it last year, so I'm gonna do it. Because no one else is really saying, "Oh, you won't be able to do it," like, because no one else really cares. But, now I'm kinda just proving to myself that I can withstand that pressure, and even the little things, like putting the candy bar in the protein shake, right? Like, no one's gonna know, but, like, I know, and so I'm going to improve upon that, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Those
It
I tried to
does.
break it up into those 3 things.
Well,
Uh,
you basically from how you described it, it's like you've used logic and reason to improve. So it's like
mhm,
your last prep, you can look back and evaluate these are all the areas that you fell short on your last social gatherings,
mhm,
overeating at the events themselves, then you feel stressed the next day, then maybe you try to like do extra cardio to make up for it, and then it stresses you out more and the weight doesn't go down. And it's like, what's going on?
yeah,
So then now you look back at that and say, that didn't work last time. So logic says I should do this instead. And then but it's cool because you've actually made those changes. And I think not everyone does that. That's the thing,
yeah,
right? People kind of spiral. They make the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. People live their entire lives that way. But it's
mhm,
kind of cool when you actually see that you're assertive and make the changes that are needed
yeah,
to improve based off of your past experience. And also too, I love that you can't deny just from the strength of your will is is improving.
yeah,
And I think that's cool, especially nowadays where not just in the context of prepping, but just weight loss in general, building
mhm,
muscle in general, like just getting in shape. It's like people are I'm making a big generalization here. Not everyone's like this, but many people are looking for shortcuts and hacks and like little
yeah,
nitpicky strategies and tactics and tricks to kind of avoid having to use willpower. Like, how can I make this? What's the next magic pill, basically? Or,
mhm,
what's the really quick diet that I can do so I can lose a whole bunch of weight really fast? But at the end of the day, I think it's actually just more efficient to go straight to what'll actually help, which is how can I work on making my willpower stronger and
yeah,
build that as its own muscle. So
yeah,
and I don't know, that's something about you is like there's no denying that like when you set your mind on something, whether it's like a prep or a marathon or like a prep right after a marathon, it's like you got the you got the willpower muscle going on, that's for sure.
yeah,
Not
but
everyone
it's
has that.
It's funny though because I started within all this, I'm doing another challenge this month. Started on the 1st of December, and
Classic.
it is stressing me out more than everything. But it's to practice my trumpet every day. And I haven't practiced yet today, and I'll be doing that after this. And I because like everything already worked out late. Like I was like, I got home later than I wanted. It wasn't in time. I was like, crap, and I gotta do this. But man, I've tried this so many years where I told myself I was going to play every day or a New Year's resolution or something. And this is, I think, before I learned a lot with the fitness stuff. I would just try to do this with just music. I would fail, just like I failed a lot of fitness transformations in the past as well. Um, but I was like, I have 3 gigs in December. One of them's a really good paid one too, so I have a responsibility. Like I would almost say it's an ethical. You have to come prepared. Um, and then that transitions right into a couple of performances I have in the new year. So I was like, with everything I've learned with fitness, even if music is not meant to be and it's not really like full passion desire, if I tell myself I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And so that's another challenge that I'm going on. I'm trying to still work on my willpower because I feel like I've mastered the physical aspect of things, like you were just talking about with the marathon training, the lifting. I get up every morning now. It's like clockwork. I went Saturday night after we drove 5 hours from Thanksgiving, and I went to the gym and stuff like that. And why do I struggle to do that with the music? And I flip that on other aspects of why do people struggle to do this with fitness, right? It's the willpower muscle is the same issue. You know what I mean? It's just whatever motivates someone or what someone's passions or drive is. So I still do struggle with that. And I even made a comment on my when I do my post about like how people I get tons of messages about fitness and this transformation and great job and all this other stuff and asking questions. But even I still struggle with like, okay, cool, let me transition this to music now. Everyone can watch me struggle with this. And it's just another thing I can hopefully build, across. So it's just another muscle of willpower that I'm going to really try to work and try not to be a failure, which, I hope I won't. I won't. I'm not going to say I hope. I'm not going to. I'm going to practice every day in December. Um, I was like, how can I go to the gym for an hour, hour and a half every morning, walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes every day, but I can't play my trumpet for 20 minutes a day? Like, like what am I doing? Like, so I'm going to try to continue building that willpower muscle.
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
it is interesting how that works. But that's also it's cool when you think about it. It's like when you're in the whole prep thing, you're developing all these other skills like willpower. That those skills are we are able to carry them over to other things if we choose to use them. But sometimes it's just like tough to choose to use them. I think
Yeah.
that's why having like a really strong why is important a lot of the time. It's like
Yes.
something that intrinsically
Yeah.
motivates you at the end of the day. Like, why do I want to be playing the music
Yep.
for 15 to 30 minutes every day? Like, what's
So
the
that's a
reason behind that?
great point, and maybe I wasn't really thinking about that, but maybe that's what is sparking this. I rejoined the nonprofit community band that I had helped establish, so I'm back in it. Um, and maybe I have that why is that desire to help that group and perform and live up to the expectation and standard that I know I can hold myself to. I mean? I think that's probably like the underlying like right now, like I went to a rehearsal and I did not like how I sounded. It'd be like when you look in the mirror and you don't like how you look. Um, and that was like an eye-opening experience because I'm supposed to be good and I wasn't. So I kind of related to the same thing. I was supposed to be in shape and I'm not. So like I'm gonna do something about it.
Right.
So I needed that slap in the face, I think. And you know me, I'm competitive. So the minute I get challenged with something like that,
That's
it's like,
enough. That's
okay.
there's the fire.
Like legitimately, I know I'm going down a music nerd, sorry. But like the girl next to me, good trumpet player. I think I'm objectively better than her. But there there's like a solo I had, and I sounded so bad on it. My tone, my everything was bad. And it literally went through my head that I feel like an asshole that I'm playing this and not her. Like that like thought was going through my head. And I was like, so maybe one thing I could do is give the solo to her, or I could practice and get better, right? Like, I'm gonna do that. Like,
Was that
so
a Magnum Mysterium?
yes, yes,
Nice.
yeah. It's
That's
so bad.
interesting. Like, part of the reason part of the why it sounds like is not just to sound good, but
Mhm.
also it's to avoid pain. The pain of sounding bad. It's like, "Ooh, I don't like this." She's probably thinking like, "Hey, I should do this, not you," and or at least you're
Yeah,
projecting that. Yeah, that's what you're
yep,
thinking. But, like, it's a painful, uncomfortable situation, so, like, there's a motivation to get out of pain, but that also carries over to fitness, like, that's why a lot of
yeah,
people their weight loss journeys is like, "I don't wanna feel this pain anymore," but that can be super, super motivating. I get that
mhm,
with I feel that to an extent, that's part of my why with bodybuilding, is
yeah,
because I know that it's not in the it's a little bit different, but I know that, like, if I wasn't doing the prep for whatever reason, don't completely know why, but I know that if I wasn't doing the prep, I would feel like something's missing, and, like, that
yeah,
feeling, I would feel empty, and that would be
mhm,
painful. That'd be
yeah,
painful, so I'm avoiding that pain. So
yeah, yeah,
I can relate to that, but it's interesting where
yeah,
I think whys can be complicated and they can be really layered. They can also be really difficult to articulate. Sometimes, like, I don't know if you've ever had this, but, like, sometimes
mhm,
people ask me, like, "Why are you doing this?" And I have like, with the bodybuilding thing, and sometimes it's, like, really hard to answer. Like,
yeah,
it's not as simple as because I wanna be confident or, like,
yeah.
because I
Or
ever
it's
since
more nuanced,
yeah,
like, yeah, like, I had that with, like, I'm always doing these social functions, and we're always hosting and all these other things, and it's like the turkey trot in the neighborhood that I did. It's like, why am I doing that? Well, do I really care about running 3 miles? No. Like, it's to build a family and a tradition in the neighborhood, a network and culture of people that know each other. They're focused around kind of fitness, like, trying to build that culture and that environment. But that's a huge, like, that's a lot of work and time that it took me to prep it and everything else, and like for that why, and then trying to have that come into fruition and stuff like that. Yeah, I always struggle with the bigger one with like why am like you really start thinking like why am I in the career that I'm in? Right. That's like, oh, okay. Then you really start because if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life kind of saying or whatever. I don't believe that personally. But yeah, if you have a good why, I guess maybe you understand. But my why right now is to put food on the table that I can't eat because
that's
I'm
a
in a calorie
strong why.
deficit.
There'd be pain if you didn't do that.
Yeah,
The
right? I like
alternative
your
would
idea
be
about the
horrible.
pain. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
alternative would be horrible. The other interesting thing is, you can keep asking why. So, like,
Mhm.
I want to I wanna do this to, like, build the community and, you know, wherever that goes, and then someone will say, "Well, why?" "Well, because I wanna be a part
Yeah.
of something bigger, and I wanna, like, bring people." "Okay, why?" Like, you can keep asking, and it's like it gets harder and harder. There's, like, a contingency. It's like the contingency theory, basically.
Ah, yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
but,
That's funny.
it's interesting how that works, but it's
Well,
complicated and it's
yeah.
layered, and I think there isn't there rarely is like, a one sentence answer for these kind of
Mhm.
questions, like, "Why are you doing this?" I think it's complicated.
Yeah. And especially the more elite you get, like, for a bodybuilding prep, the why is, like, a lot of people aren't gonna understand it, and that's okay. You know what I mean? The why only needs to make sense to you. You don't have to justify yourself to anyone else. Um, I think that's a lot of people kinda going with the social pressure and everything else that happens with that. They feel that pressure, but it's like, you don't owe an explanation to anyone else about why you're doing something, as long as you know deep down why. And if you can't articulate it, I think that's okay. I think it's a good exercise to learn how to articulate things because then you can help mold and mentor others. But if you're just doing it for you, like as long as you know and you're at peace with it, like I think that's really important. So I think that's just important to remember for people that are probably like feeling that pressure from others, not understanding their goals or motivations for doing certain things. Um, One thing you mentioned earlier, and I thought about it was, you know, me learning from the last time and looking at it and objectively like changing, improving the things. I also think like it's also really important to note how I have learned the importance of consistency and like the same thing every day. Like, so even though in both the marathon prep and the bodybuilding prep, I changed strategic things that I objectively looked at, but I would say like 95% of everything else is the same. And like that is also success. Like these things are skills, and as you do them more and more and more, you'll just get better at them. So like it might seem like a lot of, and I think these changes I've made are really big, but they're actually really, really small in everything. If you look at all the stacked things I'm doing, I'm still going to the gym every day. I'm still training. I'm doing the same split that I've been doing for over a year. Like, so there's a lot of things. My overall food didn't really change. I think for my meal prep, I added eggs. I'm still doing chicken and shrimp. Like, I added eggs and rice. Like, whoa, mind blowing. So like, I think that's important to think of because I think some people might be intimidated by, oh my gosh, you have to change so much, or you have to really analyze the differences. It's like, yes, but also the power of consistency
Yeah.
really
It's
helps out.
consistency at honing in on and improving in on the basics, like having a unprocessed whole foods most of the time for your meals, having like
Yeah.
a regular eating frequency, like some kind of a meal plan. It's all basic, right?
Yep.
Going to the gym X number of times a week, doing your basic training program. You're not doing any somersaults or like handstand push-ups or like weird stuff in the it's like they're basic movements, but you're just getting stronger at them and getting
Mhm.
more skilled at them. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
It's like music. You want to
Mhm.
play like a super, super complicated, complex, difficult concerto or orchestra piece or band piece or whatever. The best players are just really, really, really good at their scales and arpeggios, have good tone, have good
Yeah.
intonation, have good control of their articulations. Just they're masters at the basics. It's like the
Mhm.
same thing with the
Yeah.
fitness thing. You just practice the basics every day over and over again.
Yeah, and to your point, that's not the sexy thing that people see on these Instagram reels or these transformation stories, and they see the like, oh, bam, this big change. It's like, no, there's a the daily grind of getting up every morning or whenever you do your lifts or workouts and slugging through some bad ones, or whatever it is. Um, I think that's huge. Another thing I forgot
Like
to
that?
mention. Do what?
Do you like the grind? Like, do you like doing the same kind of things, like getting good at the same kind of basic skills, activities? Like, do you like the lifestyle of, X meals per day, train every day? We're focusing on like getting good at the technique of basic exercise, getting stronger. Is that something that you like? Or is
Definitely
it
not. Definitely not. That does not
interesting?
motivate me. And I think I figured this out at work with like my personalities. We did like a personality test thing. Um, I that is not me at all, but I think I've learned that that's what I have to do to be successful. Like just you said, like the music stuff. I did all those fundamentals like for so many years growing up, right? Do I like practicing now? No. Like, but I know that's the probably not the only way to get good, but it is a for sure way to get good. So for now, it's became just the routine. It's a habit now, just like anything else, like brushing your teeth or whatever. Um, I don't even honestly think about it. Like I literally, someone joked with me the other day and said, "Oh, Thursday we're having like this meeting thing at work tomorrow." They made a comment about like, "Oh, you know what tomorrow is? Like, you better like understand." And I'm like, chest day with high reps. Like, you know what I mean? This is how I'm like, my days are now by what my lifts are. Like, what are you talking about? Because it's no shit always the same day. I don't even switch the days. Um, but I am trying to make it different now with like I was telling you with technique. I'm really trying to make that boring thing somehow more challenging and exciting for me because the first year I was getting all those newbie gains, feeling strong, hitting PRs, getting stronger. And then after the first prep, because I remember I was getting stronger even as I was getting leaner last year. But I was still getting better at the lifts. My technique was trash. And then it's like I wanted to get heavy, and lift heavy. So then I was like pushing for the 1,000 pounds and lifting as heavy as I could. That was awesome. So now it's like let me dial this back, really strict technique. But even then, I told my gym buddy, I said, we did legs today. You know me and my squats. I feel like I suck at them, but I'm getting better. I told him next Wednesday, no matter what, just for the mental toughness of it and the skill, I you will not let me stop my squats until I fail. Like legit, I am dropping the freaking bar. Like, because
Tom Platz style.
yeah, because I
Watch him do
like
squats, it's
oh
hilarious.
right, just more. Like
Yep.
so, I'm going to mentally prepare for the whole week that next Wednesday my spine might be destroyed. No, I'm just kidding. But like I just because like we've talked about this. It's like something about it. Like, can I do one more? Can I do one more? Like, stop being a wuss and do one freaking more. Um, so
That's
we're
a way to
kind of
make it more
pushing each other to
exciting.
do it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like again, I'm trying to like do something
That's cool.
different
It's
within it.
interesting, right? Just the way that different people think about things, the way that you think about things, what your preferences are, what you like and what you don't like, and the whole way that you think about things, you've kind of made it work with this
Mhm.
the whole bodybuilding thing and having to do the same things monotonously over and over again and getting better at the skill, even though you don't by default from what you described, you don't love it
Mhm.
like that
Yeah.
blanket statement. You don't like that, but you're still like finding different ways to kind of get it done anyways,
Yeah.
which is
It
it's almost more admirable that way. It's like you do it even though you don't want to, you know?
yeah.
And and
Yeah.
and I know you do love this. I know you
Mhm.
love fitness, but, like, certain elements, blanket statement, monotony, you don't love
Yeah.
that, what you described, but you still make it work and find ways of, like, getting the job done. I feel like I'm super lucky, like, ever since I was, like that's a personality trait that I feel like is a gift for me, is ever since I can remember, I like doing the same things over and over and over and over. That was one of the reasons why I
Mhm.
both did well in music, and what also bit me in the butt with music was I liked practicing in a structured way
Yeah.
a lot and spending X number of times in a practice room doing the same things all the time, the same scales the same way, but the problem was I
Yeah.
didn't always practice well the same way
Yes.
every day. So that, like, bit me in a butt. So I can dig myself into a hole with that. But overall, I feel like I'm really lucky in that, like, I like monotony for whatever
Mm,
reason. I don't know
mhm.
what it is, but it's interesting how different people have different like, we got different personalities, we have different likes and dislikes, but we can both make
Yeah.
things work based off of or regardless of what our strengths and weaknesses are or what we like and don't like, we can still get the job done anyways and find different
Yeah.
ways of doing it for different reasons, which is cool.
Well, I think that's what makes it, I mean, just humans awesome in general. But for anyone that's, we've talked about this so many times for the fitness community, and we both love it and we want people to uncover the value and importance of fitness. But it's like it has all different types of people, all different types of personalities. Is but like I think we're a perfect example of we have an end goal. We're working towards that end goal. We just have different ways of getting there, but we're like like-minded individuals with the same values and stuff like that. And that's what you have to do. You have to surround yourself with good people who will challenge you and push you. Um, but there's different ways to accomplish things. And I think the mature thing to do is we listen to other people and how they do things and we learn from it. Right. So I'm like we just said, I'm all over the place. I'm like squirrel, I'm a procrastinator and all this stuff. But I've learned that I need to work on my technique because I see I have a mentor who shows me these things. Right? I've learned that like meal prepping is a smart way of doing it. So I'm not stubborn like to a fault. My wife who's very like you, very like organized structure. There's times where it's like I'm going to throw a curveball and we're just going to have randomly, I'm going to invite 10 people over the house and she has an hour to get the house ready. Right. I'm kind of an asshole when those things happen, but it like enables us to be flexible and adaptable. And so like we just challenge each other, but with through respect and mentorship through others, like we understand like, oh, okay, I've now learned something a little bit. I challenged myself what's outside of my comfort zone to better myself. Like I think that's really important. I think the gym is an awesome place. You'll go there and you'll see tons of people doing different things, how they lift. And now that I'm more comfortable in the gym, I ask people questions all the time. I'm like, what are you doing? What is that? What is that working? I'm kind of confused, right? And I'm like, oh, how's that hit? Is that hit good? And like next thing I know, I have a gym friend, right? Like, and then they'll come over and they know my personality, so they'll make fun of me if I'm not lifting heavy weight, right? But they'll give me advice. Sometimes I don't, I know right off the rip, I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna listen to that. But it's like I listen and then I probably look it up later on because I'm interested. So I just think that's really important. I think people should know that like the gym community, the fitness community is all about there's different ways of accomplishing it. And at the end of the day, like we can micro look at like, oh, this person lifts like with bad technique, or this person's like an ego lifter, or those are half reps, or that's a CrossFit person, or like whatever it is. But like if you take a step back, you're like, man, this person is like has a fit lifestyle, and these are people I want to surround myself with, right? Like whatever those, and you could click that into different pots of thing. If that's a music thing, it's like, oh, these people are really into jazz. That's not my thing, but like, man, they really love music. Like, and I think that's important to like take a step back every now and then and just look at it as a holistically. I don't know. That
Yeah.
went like deep in a weird way. I apologize.
I liked it. It was great. It's like, well, it's like it's good reinforcement that being in a space or an environment with other people around you that also have like a growth mindset, at least like they're striving to become better or to keep themselves healthy or just to improve in some manner. It's helpful for ourselves too, because
Mhm.
we're in an environment that's supporting the thing that we want, which is also some kind of internal or external growth.
Yeah.
And also too, I like your point about like bringing up you and your wife. You have different
Mhm.
personalities, but you can kind of work to each other's different proclivities, strengths, and weaknesses. Like
Mhm.
if one person is more type A, organized, the other person's more flexible but chaotic, but
Mhm.
still, gets it done. You guys work on each other's strengths and weaknesses. You fill in the gaps. So I
Yeah.
think it's cool. That's how human beings, I think, like we can accomplish a lot, I think, if we work together, I
Yeah.
suppose. And that can apply in so many different environments and contexts, like you mentioned, the gym and yeah, even being in a sport like natural bodybuilding where you know of or you've met other competitors who are
Mhm.
who are also on a similar journey, and you can kind of find relatability with them
Yeah.
and learn from each other and whatnot. But I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
For sure.
maybe on that note, what do you think? I think this was a good one. We talked about how our preps are going, how our preps have
Yep.
been different this time around versus the last couple times around or the last time around.
Mhm.
We got deep. We got deep a couple times,
Yep. Yep.
and
Like my squats have been.
yeah, jeez Louise, man, squats can't get much deeper than that.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think it's been good. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm glad we're both kind of going through this together, and then it's going to be exciting to see how we handle Christmas and the package. I think we're both going to bring on stage. I think is going to be awesome, and hopefully, the viewers they can follow along on our Instagrams as well. I know we post a lot of stuff on there, and yeah, follow along on our journey of suffering through a fat loss diet phase, but also getting super jacked.
Ooh, one last point on that. I love. Okay, this is something that I heard. I heard Arthur Brooks talking about this, but okay, suffering. I
Hmm.
think he wasn't talking about natural bodybuilding prepping, but I think this is so applicable to natural bodybuilding. It's incredible. So he's talking about suffering, and I think he got this from like the Buddhist religion, which is suffering is pain plus resistance or pain times resistance. So it's not just you're not just suffering being in pain, but you suffer more from being in pain and being resistant to that pain. So
Mm-hmm.
prepping, there's no doubt about it. There's pain involved. You're dieting, you're hungry, your training gets harder and harder and harder and less fun the leaner you get and energy gets lower. There's pain involved there. But the less resistant you are to it, the more open and accepting you are of like embracing the eventual hunger or the low energy or the hard training, you embrace the pain of it, it actually leads to less suffering. So you can
Mm.
feel the pain of a prep, but if you're open to the pain and accept it as like, hey, I'm doing this
I
as a
see.
trade-off so that I become better and I do well on stage, then yeah, you're in pain, but you're not suffering the same
Oh,
way, which,
yeah.
I think suffering can build you and grow you, but just an interesting concept. So when I heard him talking
Yeah.
about that, I was like, that applies to natural bodybuilding
I
too.
like that
But
too, and
anyways,
it's just a positive way of looking at it too, instead of a suffering like as a challenge and yeah, don't resist it and look you understand you're going through it for the reason and the goal. Yeah,
embrace the pain rather
yeah.
than resist it. Yeah. But
In the
anyways,
military, we say embrace the suck.
that's
So,
it.
yep.
Exactly.
So,
That is the concept.
yes.
Cool.
So, awesome.
Well, if for everyone that's watching, thank you. Let us know in the comments. Are you prepping? Are you dieting? If you're dieting through the holidays like Zach and I are, let us know in the comment section below. Let us know how you're feeling about it. Um, but yeah, also hit the like button if you enjoyed the episode. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And thanks again for watching. And thank you, Zach.
Thank you.